How's everybody? This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
It's time for Happily Married Monday with the Jolleys. And so we want to welcome you to our special broadcast today.
And you're saying special broadcast, but you're also thinking about saying that it's make love, make money, make the rest.
Well, I will get to that.
What do you think about that?
I like that. Yeah, I think that. We're thinking about tooling with the name because we go to take it to television, to the Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last broadcast with the Jollies, Dee and Dr. Willie and Dee Jolley. So
what do you think about that?
What y'all think about that? How you like that? Make love, make money, make it last. Broadcast with Dr. Willie and Dee Jolley. So let me know what you think about that. We got Happily Married Monday with the Jollies as it stands now, but Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last broadcast with Dr. Willie.
It's got to rhyme.
It's got to rhyme. She's a cutie pie. I tell y'all, she's a cutie pie.
You're just trying to get close to me tonight. That's what the deal is.
Yeah. Anyway. Let me tell you something. I got to tell y'all something. First of all, I want to welcome everybody. If you're first timers, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We encourage everybody to go to jollymarriage.com and order 2 copies of the book. 2 copies of the book, or get the whole package, which has 2 books, 2 workbooks, audio book, and a seminar on CD. Now,
and you can also get a digital version.
You got a digital version of the whole package. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you can get that at jollymarriage.com. Now, let's see a couple things I want to give you some updates on. First of all, we are grateful that all of you are here and have been telling folks. You have been making this show and this broadcast the popular one it has become. Many people say, my friends told me about it. So please keep telling your friends, your family members about it, because we really appreciate that. The next thing is, I got today I'm wearing a white shirt because I've been on TV a lot today. You know, if
you've been wearing the white shirt all day because you've been on TV since early this morning, which you almost missed because you did put it in the well. I was not included. I was not included on the in the loop, and that's why you almost missed it.
Well, see what happened was.
What had happened was.
Well, what had happened was the interview for Washington D.C. Fox 5 was slated for Friday, but of course Friday was just less than 48 hours or 48 hours from the
news cycle was all upside down because of Wednesday.
And we want to say, for the record, that we abhor what happened Wednesday at the U.S. Capitol. We abhor it.
That is not democracy.
That's not democracy. It is wrong. And we also want to speak to the unequal distribution of justice that we saw very clearly with the folks at Black Lives Matter who were peacefully protesting, met with horses and helicopters and flashbangs and tear gas and then being arrested. And this group of people tore up our national United States Capitol and they walked out scot-free.
And I think on most medias, they talked about how shocking it was of the difference in force or lack thereof.
Right. So that's another conversation. We want to make a statement on that for the record, that we are abhorrent, we are disappointed, we are heartbroken, and it's wrong. Wrong is wrong. Now, so we couldn't do the interview on Friday morning, and they changed it to Monday morning. Well, I forgot because, you know, I get stuff in my brain and I lock it in.
But you actually have a schedule.
I do have a schedule. And so...
that is not maintained by me. I'm just simply added to
I woke up late. Was going to go... She said, let's go to Walmart. I said, okay, because yesterday, I said we couldn't go. Too many people. She wanted to
go to Walmart early in the morning before there are people.
And wanted me to take her and go there with
because I have PTSD. You guys know that. All right, so...
You know, she can't stand the crowds. Anyway, so I said, okay, I'll take you. I'll do whatever you want to do. And I was getting up to go, and I looked at my phone, and one of my mastermind friends said, hey, look, folks. And they had done a big blast. Look who's on television today at 9:45. So anyway, it was on Fox 5. If you look at it,
we scurried around, so we got it straight.
We got it done. Okay.
Fortunately, he only had to go to the basement.
That's right. I had to go to the basement and get ready. Now, go to our studio there. Now, here are a couple of things I want to say. Another friend of mine reached out to me this week, and he said something. I hadn't talked to this guy in many, many, many years, Dan Levine. And I used to do jingles with him 40 years ago. And he said something during that conversation. I thought I'd share this with you guys. Is that he said, Willie, I'm reaching out to you. I've been thinking about you, and I wanted to see how you were doing. I know you're in D.C. And
we did get lots of calls, and we appreciated people who were concerned about us.
Jill Tweed,
yeah,
and so many others who called. I want to thank you. Now,
Darlene Romero,
Darlene,
and then other family members who wanted to see, just to check in to see if we were okay.
That's right.
That's so wonderful.
So he says to me, how is that lady that you were so head over heels about when she was a former teacher? I said, Dee? He said, yeah. How is she? I said, I'm still head over heels after all these years. We were dating 40 years ago, and we got married 36 years ago, and I'm still head over heels for her. That's what I told her. He said, man, I wish I was like that. He said, I'm going through my next divorce. I said, you need our book. He said, I'm getting your book for this next one. So anyway, I've told people I kept looking for someone who I could live with till I found someone I could not live without. And that's Dee Taylor-Jolley. So,
and I'm the beneficiary of that.
You turned me on.
Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, so let's talk about tonight's show. Again, welcome to everybody who's joining us. Happily Married Monday with the Jollies. Go to jollymarriage.com. And we're asking people tonight, what are your thoughts about us with this new name concept, rather than Happily Married Monday with the Jollies? We think about changing it to Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, Broadcast with Dr. Willie and Dee Taylor.
I think it speaks to the different kind of content that we bring.
Yeah.
Okay, like tonight.
Yeah.
Topic for tonight, really?
Okay, let's talk about tonight.
Okay. How to dream your biggest, and I added best, dream with your spouse. Okay, and then you add it, because everything relates to sex, leads to greater sex, satisfying, and successful marriages.
Everything leads to
sex. That's what it's mine.
Oh, praise the Lord. With that, okay, now let me tell you where that came from. We were on an event with Damon John recently. I was, and Damon talked about the book Think and Grow Rich, and how that book had changed his life, and how he had read the book with his wife, and they started setting goals together. And he said it's one of the most sexiest experiences he ever had.
That's what he repeated. He said it's the sexiest experience he ever had.
Yeah.
Was to set goals
with his wife.
Isn't that romantic? As well as practical.
That's the truth. So we want to say to folks, we concur with that. We concur with that concept that it is sexy, it's intimate, it's satisfying, and it helps you have greater success.
Okay, why?
How many more success? Oh yeah, let's talk about why. Let's talk about the research, what the research says about goal setting.
In this case, I picked up from Psychology Today, and Psychology Today verifies everything in terms of information, so it's not just pie in the sky. And the author of this particular research in the article was a Dr. Barton Goldsmith. And he's a therapist as well as a writer. He's also a columnist with the Chicago Tribune, the New York Daily News, and is the author of 7 books.
Mm.
Now, the last book says 75 psychological empowerment exercises to get you what you want in life.
I like that.
I think I might have to buy that book.
Mm.
It's like I buy a book every week. Right?
Every week she's getting a new book.
The goal is to read 3 books a month, really. That's where I am.
You way past that.
Let's deal with, So we're dealing with how to dream your biggest and best dreams with your spouse.
Yep.
And that it's sexy, it's satisfying, so it leads to successful marriage. And here's what he says. He says the happiness comes from moving forward together, but it's not necessarily getting to the end game.
Really?
That's what he says. He says the happiness between couples improve when you're working towards something, but you don't necessarily have to get there. It's the journey that makes the difference.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I like that.
What do y'all think about that?
I like that.
That you're working on something together. It's kind of like a lot of what people say about life, that we become different, not because of the end result, but because of the effort put forth in working to achieve the goal.
Right.
Huh? I
like it. I like that. And it makes me I'm thinking of different pieces in the book where, as B. Smith's husband said, it's not how I go or we go, and me go, not me go and how she go, it's how we go. That is not how me go or she go, it's how we go. And we go together. And we work together. We set goals together. They talked about how they were willing to set the goals of which ones were the most important. She had been a model. They said, let's start a restaurant. They set goals of a restaurant, B. Smith's restaurant. He helped to get her TV show. They worked on these goals together.
And she was the one that was out front and not.
He was behind the scenes. That's right.
So everybody knows their particular strengths, and they're willing to play to their strengths to support the union as a whole. He also says this means that in order to be happy, couples need to have goals that they are moving towards, that they actually share and agree upon.
Right.
Now, how do you get there? That means you've got to do, what's that word that starts with a C? I say all the time. You've got to communicate. And you communicate and you support each other in working towards those common goals.
Right. That's right.
But you got to decide. I think the difficult part is deciding what those common goals are. So how do you have common couples goals? And I don't want to get sidetracked, but to say that if you don't know what your individual goals are, how can you have common couples goals? And what gets, and that's something that we
that's gone down a rabbit hole, because you said, now we talking about the couples goals, and you didn't go into a subset.
But I'm just saying,
rabbit hole.
As you work on your couples goals, you can't not have your individual goals.
Well, it would be best, baby, but you can.
Your couples goals.
Well, you could if you wanted to have the goals without them. But see, that's why I call her rabbit hole, because she will go down a rabbit hole and go into the. I'm macro, she's micro. I'm big picture, she's the details. That's how we work. And so let's see what some of the comments are. We're getting some good comments. Dee, thank God you got a real man I watch, because I believe this broadcast is transparent. The education is priceless. Thank you, Terrence. Communication, support, and respect. Getting out of debt was common goal for hubby and I. That's what Sandra Scott said. That's a good common goal.
Yes.
We're working on our goals. So we set goals together. Everything we've done is set a goal together, and it's been great for our marriage. Now
let's just say we had to talk through what was important as a couple about goals, because he never thought what was important to me, paying off the house.
Yep.
Now, there are different schools of thoughts about whether one should pay off the property or not, and the financials and all of that, and the tax implications. But emotionally, and that's where communication comes in, and talking about, this is something that makes me feel secure.
Right.
With the mortgage burnt because it's paid off.
Right.
And so we talked about that and say, okay, now we're going to march down this thing together. extra money is going towards paying off that mortgage note.
Right.
But he had never really thought about it.
Well, it wasn't a big deal to me, but because financial planner would say it's good for you to pay, but she said no, this makes me comfortable.
Right.
Whether okay,
so it's important that you share what is emotionally important to you.
Right.
That impacts everything.
That's right.
And whether or not you're going to work together.
And you know what? Again, women need two things. Men, don't forget this. We say it over and over again because so many men will hear it and don't get it. Women need intimacy and security. Intimacy and security. And that house thing was about security. And then intimacy is not always sex. It is taking her a cup of coffee or giving her a back rub. So
being available for touching toes. He touches his cold toes on my warm feet. He likes doing that. So just being close. So, you talk about things that you do for me, things that I do for you, like I'm your bed warmer.
Bed warmer, baby. Okay, look, I want to read something to you from the book, Compromise. We live in Washington, D.C., where politicians often act like the word compromise is a bad word. We've seen it this week more than ever.
Last week
more than ever. But in terms of marriage, I assure you that compromise is a great word. Smart business people understand the power of compromise. And smart people in marriage understand it too. Compromise, by its definition, is a settlement agreement in which is reached by mutual consent on both parties. We've seen that the marriages that succeed are the marriage where there is ability to compromise. Sometimes the wife gets her way, sometimes the husband gets his way, and sometimes they meet in the middle and keep it moving. I had the honor of doing some events with Dr. Stephen Covey, the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. By the way, I'm interviewing his son this week on my XM show, Stephen M.R. Covey. He's the author of the New York Times bestseller, Speed of Trust. And I'll let y'all know
which then comes out on a podcast the next week.
But it won't be on until it'll be a couple weeks now. And then I heard NBC weatherman Al Roker say on TV one morning that one of the keys to his long marriage was to understand that neither person has to be right all the time. It's really win-win. So if you're
you know what? I think in terms of why neither has to be right all the time, because you're comfortable in your own skin and you respect your mate.
I do. We respect each other. Even down to getting out of the car without a mask on.
Why do we have to go there?
So we were riding around yesterday.
My goal is to not go shopping with him. I'll let him drive me. That's the goal. But sometimes it's just like, let's just be together. We're together, and he's in the car. I told you what we were doing for people in our area, that we were actually giving out calendars, special calendars and the like. And we would go drive, drop the calendar in the mailbox, then call them and say, we just dropped something off for you. But that didn't happen. He's driving. He drops it in the mailbox. And as he is leaving,
the dog starts barking.
And the neighbor comes out.
She comes out.
And there they are. I'm on the other side of the car. And he is, I think, too close.
Now, I am at least 10 feet away from this woman. She's a nice lady, by the way. Really nice lady. I love her. And so, but she's 10 feet away. And we're kind of communicating. But I don't have...
He is out of the car.
Without my mask on.
He doesn't have his mask on.
But we 10 feet away outside.
He is out of the car. And he doesn't have his mask on.
So she is freaking out.
I'm going through PTSD.
She's freaking out. And Lady's over there. And I'm talking to her. Hey, how you doing?
And I've come to the conclusion, you know what? I can't control him. So
when we got home,
I did not. It was pointless because he hadn't listened to me. Wow. So I just put my mask on
and walked around the house with a mask.
And I went about my business. I didn't say a word.
She walked around the house with her. I got the message. Here's what I want to say: is I got the message, and I said to her,
"Wait, then you went
bike riding, and I came back from my bike ride, and I said, look, I have figured out how we would do this. Will this make you happy if I promise you from here on out, I will not get out of the car without my mask on anymore because it makes you uncomfortable. Even if people are down the block. She said, she had a mask on. I said, all right. So Terrence said, can you recommend any reference books on becoming a better listener? That's a great question. Better listener. Dee, Terrence, she'll look that up. Okay, because we have some pieces in the book about listening. I heard a great quote just this week that the great listeners are eloquent listeners. Eloquent listeners. That they are mindful. And
I have some things for you next week because that goes along with effective communication. And effective communication, as it is taught, and I used to actually teach that with the American Management Association, is the ability to listen. Just like we talk about in relationships, you're listening not to answer, but you're kind of bringing your defenses down and you're listening to make sure that you understand.
Well, go back to Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People says that the effective people, they seek first to understand, then to be understood.
But you know what I think? I think the great thing is that Terrence, right?
Yes.
Terrence recognizes, I want to be better at it.
Yeah.
That is more than half the battle right then, that you're saying, I'm missing something. So what do I need to do so that I'm more attentive? So, as an educator, one thing that I would just simply say off the cuff, make a conscious effort not to say anything. You want to affirm that the communication that you're being offered is of value. So instead of because we can get carried away. Right. I do that. I'm very well aware. I can start. Well, yes, no. If you can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna nod, to show interest and work at listening.
Now
heightened awareness.
I have a guy named Jeff Slutsky, and I'll never forget. Jeff Slutsky said the secret to his long marriage that he's learned to listen by repeating every 5th or 8th word that the wife says. She'll say something like, and we were walking around down the street and saw a man who was biting a dog. And then she goes on. He lets her, and he will just repeat every 10 or now.
See, but
part of that was his humor.
He's a humor. Is he a humorist?
Well, he's a funny guy.
But here's the thing. There are many techniques to improve for effective communication. But the value is in whether or not you really have a genuine interest. You can use the techniques, and they're insincere.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay.
They're ploy. So what we do is I listen to her, and she'll talk, and sometimes she'll want to talk. Because I'm the only one here now. I'm here. My son, she used to have my son, but I'm here now. My son is not living with us.
We talk about everything openly in the sense that I know sometimes he is tired of me talking. I know that.
And people think because I'm the speaker, I'm the one to talk a lot.
And I will say, I know you're tired of me talking, but you got to listen to so-and-so. And the humor.
And then what do I do?
Easier.
I stop. Okay, dear. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get it all out.
That's how we have worked it out. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm done.
I can go on.
Because he is talking to more people than I am any given day. And like I said, I am an introvert. But he enjoys talking. He talks to all these people, like the interview today, the webinar, you're like this, right? But my focus is very different because I'm doing finances and content stuff. And then sometimes I get intense about my opinions on certain things, and I just have to come share it.
She got to come share
it. And we have worked through that. It didn't start out that way as easily and the humor. It just makes it so much easier.
What? All right, let me refresh again, because somebody might have jumped on. Love, make money, make it last. 10 Secrets to Shaping a Great Marriage. We had a lot of people this last couple of weeks who have been ordering the book. 2 copies. We were on the Joe Madison show. They re-aired a show we did, and we've had a big push of people who ordered the book. So go to jollymarriage.com, order 2 copies of the book.
You should start for Valentine's Day. Let me just insert here.
Tomorrow, that's a good idea.
Tomorrow we are recording. We're pre-recording a Valentine's Day program tomorrow, so we're starting to get more traffic in that area. But it can't just be, I'm going to work on it for Valentine's Day.
No, it got to be all the time. So get the book, get the whole package, and then the other thing I want you to do is chime in on your thought. We're thinking about playing with the name of this broadcast, from Happily Married Monday with the Jollies to a new concept called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last Broadcast with Dr. Willie Jolley and Dee Taylor-Jolley.
Because it mirrors the book. Right. Okay, we have not gotten that far.
We got 27 minutes.
So I just need 1 minute. All right, make sure that the goals that both of you strive for make you feel good about yourselves and each other.
That's
good.
What
I think.
That's good.
Do that.
And
that's
find
very
ones that y'all dig together.
Yes. And then smart your goals. Now that's whether it's couples goals, individual goals, or your business goals, because we have to do that with our personal as well as our business. Just smart the goals means.
Well, let me give. Some people really don't know how to set goals. So look, I want you to go to wjspeaks.com/goals. wjspeaks.com/goals. Take my goal setting class. It's regularly $197. It's $100 off right now this week. $100 off. Go to WJ Speaks.
You can do it as a couple.
Yeah, do it as a couple. WJSpeaks.com/goal. It's about a 3 or 4 hour. It's a 4 hour.
The great thing about it is that you can take the class at any rate that you want.
That's right.
So you take a piece, you talk about it. You press pause, you talk about it, maybe you come back to it the next day. You can download the workbook.
Right.
We
throw in the workbook. That's we get that one.
And there's a goal setting. There's a goal journal.
So that's $100 right there. So you really get $200.
What's that
in
word?
Perpetuity.
That never.
Perpetual.
Yes, perpetual. The journal starts whenever you start.
All right, Jerry loves the name change. Jerry Lee, we love you, Jerry Lee, with your cute little self.
Aww.
She got her book, and we love her. And she's. I want to celebrate her because she's a nurse, and she's a hero. In the COVID fight. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so smart your goals. Just tell them what it is.
Smart is specific. They got to be specific. They got to be measurable. They got to be achievable. Realistic, and then time bound.
Which means you got to have a date where you're going to actually complete it, so you know when you actually.
So we said we were going to. Well, we set a goal to buy this house, and we said we're going to do it 1 year from now, and we did it a year from now.
We did it. Then we had a fancy wedding.
Yeah, we had the wedding the next year after the goal. Cause we eloped. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know we eloped, and she didn't know when she was leaving that she was part of a scheme to elope. She thought she was going to lunch. I got her. I talked and I sold my way into her heart.
Okay, so now we got smart goals. Okay,
that's smart goals, and our time is
we're running out. I just got to do the quick 1 minute. A dose of D. Just one I got to do. Okay,
right.
The dose of D says there's this book, guys, you absolutely must get. Other than our book, Willie doesn't even know about it. Guess what it's called? In case you get hit by a bus. You know I love this book. Oh my God. This is what we say to short all this out. Well, we gotta have all the numbers, or we gotta have all the
codes and the
passwords. In case you get hit by a bus. There is a book. In case you get hit by a bus. Somebody should put that in the chat. And the book is by this lady named Abby Snyderman. Now, why is that? Because people are passing away. Nobody wants to talk about it. I was really focused on the next phase of our will and trust, which is really a digital estate. Did you know now the digital estate is very important? That means what happens? Website, your electronic banking, all of your passwords and everything. What happens? You get ill and you can't communicate, or you pass away. What happens to that? And things happen quickly. Just like you're saying, our nephew's wife's father passed away today. Mm-hmm. Grandmother passed away last week. What did you leave undone? In case you get hit by a bus. That's what I'm giving to my brother and everybody else this year. My niece, everybody. That's what
how to organize
getting.
your life now for when you're not around anymore.
Yes,
well,
because you care.
Right, we talked about that, and we did that with our trust and our will. That was our gift to us, each other, and our gift to our family for Christmas. That we organized not
and
just
then you
our
can just continue
will,
to
but our
update
trust.
that information.
So our goal is that in 2020, 21, not 2021, 21, there will be money in a trust that will be able to send some kid named Jolley or a derivative who is married to Jolley to college. That's our goal. We're sitting in place. That's our big goal. Hey, look, I want to thank y'all. Make love, make money, make it last. Go to wjspeaks.com/goals. wjspeaks.com/goals. Get the goal setting. We highly recommend it. It will bless you. It will encourage you. It will help you to have this to be the best year yet. That's our goal. Hey, thank y'all. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to share this with your friends and family members. Tell them to tune in. And we'll be back next Monday, if God willing, and the creek don't rise. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
Jolley out.
Jolley out.
Love y'all. God bless you. Bye.